we have rallied allies and partners across Europe in a very intense way over the last weeks to make very clear that there would be massive consequences for renewed Russian aggression. Once sanctions are triggered, you lose the deterrent effect. So what we're doing is putting together a whole series of actions that would figure into President Putin's calculus.
A Fox News alert now. President Biden considering deploying thousands of troops to Eastern Europe as NATO announces it is sending additional ships and fighter jets to counter Russian aggression against Ukraine.
Congressman Michael Waltz is a House Armed Services Committee member, National Guard colonel, and former Green Beret commander. Good morning to you, Congressman. It feels like the situation is quickly deteriorating. Do you think a Russian invasion of Ukraine is inevitable at this point? And what does that mean for the United States?
I do think it's imminent, and it's very likely that Putin is going to invade. And what does it mean for the United States? It means destabilized Europe. Putin believes he can reconstitute the old Soviet Union and challenge the United States on the world stage. And right now he has more to gain than he believes he has to lose by taking Ukraine. He'll have a huge increase in industrial capacity, in agricultural capacity, as Ukraine's the breadbasket of Russia, and access to the Black Sea with ports and trade and oil and gas. And he believes that far outweighs anything that Biden is going to do or the West is going to do in response, because he got away with it in 2014. He thinks he's going to get away with it again.
We just heard in the soundbite leading up to you from Secretary of State Antony Blinken, quote, once sanctions are triggered, you lose the deterrent effect, basically saying it's too soon for sanctions. Does that make any sense to you?
No, it doesn't, frankly. I was out in Ukraine a month ago and talking to the Ukrainians. They very frankly said, look, taking tough actions after we have Russian tanks sitting in our capital doesn't do us much good. We should have been doing things all along up front to challenge and change Putin's calculus. Sanctions now, more lethal aid now, and the types of lethal aid. The thing they most fear are surface-to-air missiles and anti-ship missiles. The Ukrainians have been asking for them for months. We should have already provided them. And also, the president needs to make very clear that we will continue to resource, not U.S. troops, but military aid and supplies to an ongoing Ukrainian resistance. Look, Putin thinks he can do this easily and quickly. We need to make it clear that we will support the Ukrainians in resisting, and this will be a bloody endeavor for Russian forces. That's the only way you're going to stop Putin, is if he thinks this is going to cause him more harm than good.
Yeah, and let's talk about Germany for a minute, because Germany is heavily dependent on Russia for its energy. Will they stand in the way of maximum sanctions against Russia? And also, what does that mean when you talk about U.S. energy independence?
Well, that's a great point. And I want Americans to understand that Biden's failed energy policies are directly leading to instability around the world. When Biden shuts down American pipelines, American drilling, puts regulation on our fracking and moves us away from energy independence, he's moving the world towards Russian oil and gas. And then you add on top of that green lighting the Russian pipeline, which, by the way, moves the dirtiest form of gas in the world. So the environmental argument doesn't even weigh in. Every time that price of oil goes up, you see Putin getting richer and getting more aggressive. And the same thing with Iran. They are also getting richer and more aggressive because America, rather than exporting oil, Biden's moving the world towards dependency on their oil. And this is how you're seeing it play out. And for sanctions to be effective, which is the centerpiece of Biden and Blinken's response, it has to be effective in euros and dollars. And the Germans are not going to get on board as long as they are dependent. And look, they just had to fire the head of the German Navy yesterday for saying Ukraine will never get Crimea back, and that we should be showing Putin more respect. So you're going to see a weak German response here. Putin knows it. And again, that's why he knows he can get away with it.
Yeah. And also former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo basically saying, look, Russia does not see Joe Biden as credible. All this figuring into the calculus, putting on the path that we are currently on. Congressman Michael Waltz, we appreciate you coming on, giving us some insight on these crucial geopolitical issues we are facing right now. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.